How's that for a new intro?
Hey, that's pretty good.
But it's Monday. What's going on, you guys? TBR here, back yet again with another King of Fighters All-Star video. And happy Monday to all of you out there. I hope you all enjoyed your weekends. In today's video, we are going to be doing another weekly subscriber Q&A where we sit back and talk about a couple of questions and comments from around our various socials. And of course, this week we are going to have quite a few questions and comments to talk about as it pertains to the Boss Syndrome Volume 4 banner. So we're going to get into it, but before we do, if you guys are new here and you enjoy daily King of Fighters All-Star content such as this, make sure you smash that like button and subscribe. And let's go ahead and get into the weekly subscriber Q&A. And as always, here on the weekly subscriber Q&A, we like to start things off with the results of our weekly subscriber poll. And this week I had asked you guys who your favorite Boss Syndrome Volume 4 fighter was. And as you guys can see on screen, we have the results right here. So we had 489 votes cast in this poll. And as you guys can see, Boss Syndrome Goenitz did get 26% of the total vote, while BS Leona got 50%, with both getting 16% and Dislike both getting 8% to bring up the rear. So kind of a surprising result on this one for me. I'm not going to lie to you guys. I kind of expected Goenitz to fare a little bit better, considering the fact that we have heard nothing but people begging for this character to get the Boss Syndrome treatment for months now. But as you guys can see, Leona did do about double the amount for this vote. So as you guys voted, BS Leona is your favorite, so there you go. Never underestimate the power of the waifu, but I thought that this was pretty interesting stuff. Hopefully for all of you guys out there that have been summoning on this banner, that you have been able to pick up the character or characters that you wanted. But without further ado, let's start getting into the questions this week, and we'll start off with this one. Please can you also put a light on Goenitz's S1 and S3 causing lag when you use them? And this one comes our way from Idris Aman. Thank you for the comment, Idris, I appreciate it. And when it comes to this one, actually this is something that I have been wanting to talk about. So when it comes to these new characters, while they both might be as broken as they are also broken in the capacity that they do cause many players out there, especially players on mobile, to lag in a huge way. I have noticed this especially with Goenitz when I try to use his Awakening rotation and things such as Guild Raid. Now with him it isn't necessarily as bad for me, surprisingly, because I've heard a lot of people out there have issues with him, but for me it has actually been Leona that has been the problem. Every time I try to use Leona, specifically in things such as Guild Raid, it is extremely hard for me to use her because it's constantly slowing down my phone. Now for those of you who are unaware, I do use an ROG3, so it isn't like I have any sort of, middle tier or low tier phone. I definitely have a high spec phone. It just comes down to the fact that whatever is going on in the background with both of these new characters, it seems like they did either something wrong, or these characters definitely are not optimized for most operating systems. I don't really know what it is. It seems like with people on emulators, they have quite a few less problems than those of us playing on mobile, but considering the fact that the vast majority of the player base does play on mobile, well, I would assume that this is something that they are going to need to address sooner rather than later. But it has definitely made it very tough for me with Leona. It's going to be very hard for me specifically to do the spotlight video for her when it comes to the actual Guild Raid portion of that video, just because there are so many slowdown bugs with her for me that it makes it very, very tough for me to get footage that is worth putting into a video. But I will continue to try. However, it is something that is worth mentioning because I know a lot of people are dealing with this problem right now. Let's hope Netmarble addresses it. Still waiting for them to acknowledge it, but we'll have to wait and see. But definitely appreciate the comment, Idris, and let's hope that they get around to getting this taken care of at some point soon. And this next comment comes our way from Intrepid Cosmonaut, who asks, I love Halloween events, so I'm wondering if there will be a new Halloween fighter to pull for, or if I should just go for broke for BS Leona. Thank you for the comment, Intrepid Cosmonaut. Now, this is in response to the video we did last week where we covered those data mines that indicated that we might be getting another Halloween event this year around the holiday. And to answer your question, Intrepid Cosmonaut, we do not have any confirmation from those data mines whatsoever that we will be getting a new character or characters. All we can really do is pull from previous experience, and that would tell us that Netmarble does like to release Halloween-themed fighters around the holiday, so we do know that there is a track record of doing so, and we do know that there has been a shift in the data for Halloween events being indicated in there, so time will tell. We don't have any confirmation whatsoever at this point, so like I had mentioned, all we can do is go off of prior history here, but I would say that there is a fairly decent shot at that happening, so if you feel like you need to budget accordingly, then do so, but there's really no way for any of us to know at this point 100%, but I would say that it is safe to assume that we will be getting some form of Halloween event or Halloween events around the holiday, probably to coincide with when the Boss Syndrome Volume 4 content leaves, but time will tell. I will definitely keep you guys updated if there's any more updates in the data, but appreciate the comment, Intrepid Cosmonaut, and let's move on to the next one. So this comment comes from Techno Dry, who says, didn't they put tokens for the Dead or Alive event in the pass? And yes, this is actually going to be in response to us talking about how they need to start theming these passes around these limited banners. So basically, Techno Dry, to answer your question, they did put Dead or Alive tokens in that pass around the time that we got the Dead or Alive pass, but of course that was for a collaboration. Netmarble does tend to theme the passes around collaboration events, or at least that's something that they've shown now with this Dead or Alive collaboration, that that's something they like to do, and so that kind of also just adds more fuel to the fire that they could easily theme these passes around whatever limited banner is running at the time. Of course, the Boss Syndrome and the SS banners are going to be a far bit different from your collaboration banners and so on and so forth, but at the same time they could easily do this if they wanted to, which is just theming these passes around whatever limited banner is currently available at the time. So this is just another reason why they need to do it. I know that with the Dead or Alive pass, people really like that pass and a lot of people took advantage of it, so it kind of proves my point once again that if they really want people to take advantage of these passes, especially that $50 tier pass, then they need to start theming these things around the limited banners and improving the actual items that they're giving us, because if they want us to spend that amount of money on something like this every month, then they need to definitely step up their game. But I appreciate the comment, Techno Dry. Thank you for your question. And our next comment comes from Christian Bustos, who says, what set of cards should I use on Leona? So thank you for the comment, Christian, and with this one, this is actually an interesting answer, so this is why I wanted to highlight this particular comment. So for those of you who have not been paying attention to the various case studies when it comes to the card sets for Leona on YouTube, you guys might be surprised to know the results of what people have found so far. You might even assume that there might be a defensive set out there for the Fest card options that we have, or maybe the Akane set, or the usual suspects that you would want to use on Leona. However, what people have discovered is there's actually a regular 5-star set on the unified card banner that is going to be the best set option for Leona, and that is going to be the Girls Who Sing Love Songs set. Now, I know that this is a bit of a deep cut. This is a card set that we have not really talked about in the past, but with the Transcendental system as it is, a lot of these 5-star sets have become a lot more useful over the past several weeks, and as you guys can see, there is actually going to be a very good video on YouTube right now that is breaking down the damage comparisons for a lot of these different card sets with Leona, and as you guys will see in that video, I'll leave a link in the description. This is definitely the set that comes out on top. Now, I personally have not had a chance to test this card set myself on her because I do not have all the pieces of it, but I do know people who personally have done so, and they have found similar things with it. So if you guys have this set laying around and you want to build it up, especially considering the fact that, again, it is a regular 5-star set, so you will be able to transcend it a fair bit easier and a lot cheaper than some of your Fest card sets out there, go ahead and build that set up, try it out on her, and you might be surprised by the findings. But I wanted to go ahead and highlight that in today's video because I know a lot of people out there that aren't on Discord might not know that. So yeah, if you guys have that set laying around, double check, see if you do. You might be surprised by the results, but thank you for the comment, Christian. I appreciate it. And this next one comes from Second Mir, who asks, which stones did you choose for Leona, attack or defense? Thank you for the comment, Second, and I have mentioned this already here on the channel, but I do want to reiterate. So for me personally, on my Leona, I did choose defensive stones. However, I chose those for YouTuber reasons. I had never chosen a defensive set for Boss Syndrome characters, and I had always been looking for an excuse to do so, that way I would have a set laying around, so that way down the road, if I needed to do damage comparisons with a really solid Boss Syndrome defensive set of stones versus an offensive set, I would have both laying around and at my disposal. So I did go ahead and choose defensive stones for that reason, because I'd never done so, and this seemed like as good of a legitimate reason to do it right now as any. But for you guys, I would definitely highly suggest going for the actual attack stones. Those are the ones I would recommend to anybody. The defensive set that I chose, again, was just for YouTuber reasons, so you don't have to be mimicking me because I didn't choose it specifically just because I thought it would output more damage. In fact, I'm pretty certain at this point the attack stones do, so definitely go for attack in my opinion. You might want to get a second opinion, that's up to you, but that's what I've heard from 99% of the players out there that have had her and been using her. But I appreciate the comment, Second, and good luck. And this next comment comes from Fahim, who says, Goenitz's HP is too low like Igna's. I appreciate the comment, Fahim, as always, and with this one, I've seen a lot of people pointing this out about Goenitz, the fact that he is a glass cannon, but this isn't something that is too surprising considering the fact that he is going to be an extremely high DPS attack type character. He is going to be a little bit of a glass cannon. For me personally, I haven't had issues keeping him alive. Maybe at the beginning when I first started using him and I was a little unfamiliar with his kit, but really ever since getting the muscle memory down and learning how to use him properly, I haven't really had much of any issues, especially if you learn how to time his S2s, as well as the exploit in Guild Raid where you can dodge that nuke. So there's plenty of different ways that you can keep him in the battle. You just got to kind of play around with him. I see where people are coming from, but then again, almost all these attack types are usually going to be glassy, so that's kind of where I'm coming from on it. But I appreciate the comment, Fahim, as always. And this final comment comes from Mr. Senorita, who says, Theo, you forgot about something. Where's a video about your new PC setup, Daddy? So thank you for the comment, Mr. Senorita. So yes, if you guys did not get the memo, I did get a PC about a week and a half, 2 weeks ago now. I'm waiting for soundproofing to come in because the only downside to where my current setup is the fact that the sound quality in that actual room isn't the greatest. You can kind of hear what's going on. So basically, I am waiting for my soundproofing to come in so that way my microphone, being that it's very sensitive, doesn't pick up the room. So we are a few days away from me being able to get that set up in there, and then after that we should be good to go to start using the PC more often here on the channel, start delving into other types of games, other different types of content, as well as being able to do live streams and so on. Again, I will keep you guys up to date whenever I get that in and I get that set up. I always try to let you guys know where I'm at with that kind of stuff, but we are getting close. I'm just waiting for the proper soundproofing, and then that way I won't have to worry about my audio being an issue. But that is going to do it for this week's weekly subscriber Q&A. Appreciate everyone who left comments and questions for me this week. Make sure if you haven't done so, you like, share, and subscribe. See you in the next one. Peace.
Continue.